Shamai Elite Dangerous Chums. Do you want to explore the universe and make decent money? Then Exobiology is for you. This is a beginner's guide and will take you through the ship build, how to do it, and strategies for making money and seeing planets. For this hobby, you will need Odyssey upgrade, and you will also need to purchase the 150 grand Artemis suit from the Pioneers shop on any station and some fleet carriers. Now, onwards to the ship build. When you choose your exobiology ship, you want something that's fast and very small and has good maneuverability. This is the Viper Mark IV, the best ship in the game for exobiology. It'll cost you 13 million. If that's too expensive for you, then choose a Sidewinder, or even better, the Hauler at just under 2 million, which will give you great jump range, but not as good as this build. And if you don't have engineering, this is a semi-engineered build. Diamondback Explorer is your choice for 40 light years, but it is significantly bigger than this, and you might struggle in some mountain parts to land. You need 1 or 2 heatsink launchers, and if we go through to the power plant, this is an overcharged one, 3A, but just put a 4A in, that is fine. You don't need to invest in the materials. I only put that in because I had it lying around and wanted to use it. Thrusters, 4A, I would say is essential because it gives you the boost speed and the maneuverability on the ground to get to your plants quick. However, 4D is acceptable because this is still has decent enough maneuverability. Frameshift drive, we have the new SCO drive in the 4A variety, and this is where you want to do your engineering with a G3 at least, with increased FSD range and thermal spread. You can of course do G5. The max is the better, of course it is. Thermal spread, that's purely to deal with the SCO heat. Now, D-rate, life support, power distributor and sensors for an Explorer build. Fuel scoop, you want the maximum possible of 4A. 4B is good. They don't have any weight, so it makes no difference what rating you have, but it does affect your scooping. FSD booster. Now this is a Guardian bit of technology, it's a 4H, and this will give you an extra 9 point something light years, roughly 10 light years an additional. So it will give you, without this unit, you'll only have 31 light years on fully laden jump range. Shield generator. You want a 3A because you're gonna hit the ground at some point, and at full boost you're gonna bring down those shields. So for that reason, I've also gone for a 3D hull reinforcement package. But if you're not reckless like me, you don't need that hull reinforcement. Do get some extra jump range by getting rid of it. And planetary vehicle hangar, you do not need this, but I put it in to make it a purely explorer build with a scarab in it for exploring. You certainly don't need it for exobiology, as I'll show. Fuel tank, you want an extra one of these, mainly for the SCO. If you're not going to the distant planets, you don't need this at all. If you're only going to near planets, but I would use it as the slot is there. Auto field maintenance unit, you're going to need this for the neutron star boosting. In fact, I might even swap this for a 2A auto field maintenance if you're going to go far, and put 2 of them and turn both of them off and only use them when you need them, because neutron star boosting causes damage to your FSD. Detailed surface scanner is what you need for scanning the planets and to find the exobiology in the first place. And we have a scarab, so that's your build. The build alternates are in the description if you look at the many options there which I've rated for you. You can look for exobiology life anywhere in the solar system, of course. Within the bubble you can find some systems, but you won't find many that have been undiscovered. So what I've done is jumped my carrier out 800 light years. Obviously, if you don't have a carrier, you'll just have to use a long jump range ship to get to this point here. But this is not ideal because you have a nebula there. So just jump away from anywhere that people are going to go on tourist kind of destinations, so you can see going towards the galactic core is where you don't want to jump. But 800 light years and I've found undiscovered systems. So if we look at the system map, now first off you want to do your discovery scan and then your full system scan to get your exploration data, that is. But for exobio we're looking for planets that are landable and have an atmosphere. So the landable planets have this semicircle around them, just like these two here. This one in the middle has an atmosphere. However, we're looking for one that has both, which is A4. Now, if you notice, I've got the first football, the first footfall Maverick Vehicle there, and I mapped it first. But if you see this and it doesn't have a first footfall, then that means that nobody's going to have found any exobiology life on there. So you will get the first finds on there, and that's where you're going to make your money. So if you look at this map here, you'll see biologicals, there are 6. One other thing worth mentioning is this is a high metal content world, and that's where we look for the Stratum Tectonicas, the most money-making thing in the game. So obviously what we'll do next is we'll fly over to this system and we'll try and find some bits and pieces. At the planet, you want to use your surface scanner. So for this one, we have an efficiency target of 4 probes. So go and make a cross. We're focusing on the 3 white dashes which indicate the planet's edge. Now if it's only 2 probes, you just need to go north and south, and for 6, throw one to the back and one to the front. Now what this is going to show us is a heat map of all the biological signals. So you can look at each species. So Fungoida there is very different to Stratus and Fruxella, so Stratum. So that's because Fungoida is up in the hills. So I'm going to use a spreadsheet as well as this heat map, because the spreadsheet here will show us that Fungoida is the hilly species, and the osseous, tussock, and stratum we can find in on the plain. Now stratum says rocky parts there, but it's rocky areas, but also it can be found in the plain, which kind of makes sense from the heat map perspective, but it's just so that you can make sense of what you're seeing here. Now if we zoom down to the planet, you can see that I'm aligning so that I have the mountain on the left hand side and the blue-green area dead ahead, which is the probably the plain, which we're going to be using for most of our biological species. And there's a deeper kind of just purer blue on the right hand side. This is more a map of hills, but there is a bit of blue-green in as well to confuse matters. So you're always aiming for the blue-green, but if there's absolutely none of this absolute blue-green colour, just aim for the blue, and essentially it can point out little tiny pinpricks of blue in between the other blue. So it takes a while to get used to. This one is more obvious than other ones. Okay, so let's get down to the planet's surface. The yellow rocky feature in front of us is Stratum, so we're going to go out and scan it, and if we press the 5 button, we should get out our scanner, and then do a right mouse button click for an initial scan. Green basically means go, so we press and hold the left mouse button to scan the biological. We're going to need to do this 3 times, by the way, but not on this one. So if you try and scan it again, press the right mouse button again, and you can see it's a dark blue, so it's not got a sufficient genetic diversity, so we can't scan it just 3 times the same one. We're going to need to travel, so going back to our spreadsheet, it's 500 meters, but I normally travel a kilometer just to be sure, so 100 meters per second or more will do it. Also, I have my computational scanner out there. This will go beep whenever it crosses a biological to make it easier to find. You can also scan your biological with a computational scanner to make a bit of extra money for your codex. So press and hold again, and we're going to get our second scan to get our Tectonicas, the most expensive, the most rewarding one in the game. For the third one, you can just jump and just go boost and then go to the next one, because it's a plane, it's very easy, very quick. And we're just going flat as well. We don't need to think about our piloting skills, but we do need to think about landing. A bit more tricky there, but we got there in the end. We're going to get our final scan in and see how that goes, and that will complete it. Get the right scanner out for a start, that would help. 5 not 4, and we're going to scan it. Just remember that if you scan another species at this stage, you will lose all of your data. So you need to get to the point where you get this animation to indicate that the scan is complete, and then you can move on to the next species. So let's go to the mountains. Now we're going to go to the mountain flying area. This is why you need the boost speed. Now this took only about a minute to get to, but I've sped it up just for fun anyway. So we're going to need to rely on our excellent flying capability. So this is where you need your shields, because you will bump the ground at times and pitch down and travel at a much slower speed, 50 meters per second or less. So generally I was around about 30 meters per second, which is of course 60 miles an hour. This is where the small vessel's really good, because you can find your landing spots a lot easier. We get our scan in nice and easier and crack on. And it didn't take that long, mainly because I wasn't scrabbling around for landing spots. This was the most difficult one up in a mountain area, but I have had much more difficult mountain flying experiences than this. But always pitch down and use your thrusters to boost along, as well as keeping a low acceleration. In fact, you can fly with your landing gear down, often helps because it slows things down. But that's the mountain areas. You can leave that out if you want. Let's talk about strategy. If you purely want to just do exploring, then hitch a ride on a Fleet Carrier Owners Club Fleet Carrier, or do a neutron star jump out to Colonia. But what other methods are there? If you just want the exobiology experience and to earn just a little bit of cash, then the Billionaires Boulevard is the place to come at Commander's Toolbox. This will show you the plant types, but you also want to use your spreadsheet to know what location they're at, so that you can locate all the high value plants on each planetoid as you go to them. Now if you roll down, we'll see the star system on the left. The central column has the planet, and on the right you have every single species you want to pick up and scan. Now this is great for just seeing the planets, and some very beautiful planets, and seeing what it's all about with no fuss. And it all starts in the bubble, so it's accessible to the absolute beginners, no problem whatsoever. If you purely want to make money, then use Spansh's filter, which will filter out the best star systems. So use the link down below in the description, go to main fields and put your current star system in the reference system. Make sure you're about 1,000 light years from the bubble. What it'll come out with is star systems and planets which are most likely to contain Stratum Tectonicas. So this is the one which makes us 90 million for each one that has been a commander has found before. But if it's a brand new, if you're the first person to find that species on that planet, it's 95 million on each one. So this will make you a lot of money. And just roll through each one. In order to make money, you need to get to Vista Genomics in a space station or on your carrier and make a sale. So we're going to sell organic data. Now, with the Billionaires Boulevard, these are the saved systems that have already been visited. The Coal Sector 285 is one of them, and so are the HIPs. So 60, 40 and 40, so yeah, 140 million or 150 million. And those are about 30 minutes each, so you're looking at about 100 million or just over 100 million per hour. So that's not bad money for what was actually a load of fun. Next we'll sell the Sinufade data. Now this is about 800 light years from the bubble at this point. So you can see I've got Stratum, Tectonicas, Cactoides there, but it's a stratum that's 19 million. So we'll sell that. And then we get the first footfall bonus. So this is where you really make the money. So this is 76 million on top, so 95 million total just for that stratum by itself. So congratulations me. And again, we'll sell more stratus, and we got all sorts of stuff in there. And did we get first footfall? Yes, we did. Lots of money there. Look at how much it increases it to, 129 million. And these are only perhaps 20 minutes, 30-minute jobs when I've got everything on there. And again, we'll get the Sinufade. This was by far the best area. And we got first footfall bonus yet again with the Stratum Tectonicus. So this is another area, stock 1 sector, but I didn't get as lucky with this. I think I just had one. I spent about an hour, and so we got one of these is 100 million, and you have all the rest all together as well. Actually, it was just over an hour. So if you use the system of searching for Stratum Tectonicus using Spansh, then yes, you can make a lot of money. I mean, I made probably 300 million in just over an hour. So yeah, 200 million, 400 million an hour is probably of the order of what you'd be expecting to make off that using that system. But it all depends on where you land, which system you land in, because if somebody's also using exactly the same system to find the Tectonicas, then you might be right out of luck, and you'll just get the 19 million without the bonus. But yeah, on some of them at least we did get the bonus. So you just have to jump and go to the next area basically. Well, I hope that you can agree this is an opportunity to increase your piloting skills, make a little bit of cash, and engage in something new. And one thing I didn't mention that you can use the Elite Observatory with the Bio Insights plugin to make things even more efficient. And if you've got any questions, drop them down below. But I think a lot of the information should be in the description of this video with the links to builds and to everything that I've discussed. So if you found this useful, then do drop a like. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has helped you with your exobiology journey. Have a great day.